Julia, would just keep an eye on LinkedIn for me, please.
No props.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our first session of 6 with Ben from Fullscope Freelancer to take us through a all-in-one system. Today, we're going to focus on social media. But before that, Ben, we would love you to introduce yourself to the community and give us a little bit of background about you and Fullscope Freelancer.
Thank you very much. Yes, happy to introduce myself and the platform a little bit. My name is Ben. I'm originally from the United States, but I've lived basically my entire adult life in Germany. And I was a longtime freelancer and business owner myself, about 15 years. And Fullscope is essentially the product of me scratching my own itch, because as a freelancer and a business owner, as probably many of you can relate, when you're trying to run a business online, you start to collect all of these little tools and gadgets and gizmos, kind of almost like Pokemon cards. And soon you have a big fat pile of them. And then you also have a big fat pile of payments that you have to deal with on a monthly basis. You know, your website here, your email campaigns there, your social media manager over here. Maybe you do courses or have a community platform, or you want to do who knows what other paid services, CRMs, all that good stuff. And at some point, it just becomes, especially for someone who's self-employed, or really just running a small team, becomes almost unmanageable to juggle these multiple software subscriptions. As time goes on, you realize you have to upgrade them, or the prices go up, and get just a whole big headache. And it's something I dealt with for many, many years and always hated. And, I think many businesses get started with people just asking the question, couldn't this be better? And so I'm hoping with Fullscope, this is indeed better for people like independent tutors, for example, where now instead of going around and again, every single new tool you need, you got to go examine the landscape. But what are the different options? Which one is good? Which one is bad? Which one has a price point I can manage with my business? Does it have the right features? And that's just each for individual tools. And with Fullscope, we just put them all together in one platform that really encompasses everything you could possibly need to run an online business, to market an online business, to deal with sales and management. And so that's what we're here to talk about today. We're going to use these upcoming appointments to discuss the individual tools in depth, so you can really kind of get a deep dive. But if you've perhaps seen the list of the different topics we'll be covering, we have all of these different tools available in this platform. Social media today, we'll be doing emails and websites, CRM, and a few others coming up. But there are also tools such as a course builder, a community builder, invoicing and payments, all kinds of great stuff. So it's really a one-stop shop where instead of, again, having to search around, figure out what's right, whether it's got all the stuff you need and whether you can afford it price-wise, we just took everything that you could possibly need. We bundled it up in one no-brainer package with one price, so you don't have to worry, am I on the right tier? Am I going to get what I need, or do I have to upgrade and pay more than I think? There is no upgrade. It's one price, everything all in. Even if we introduce new features later on, they'll always be included in the one price. So we're hoping with this to help out people like yourselves.
And the beauty of our partnership with you, Ben, is that you have this amazing product, but for Qualified Tutor members, we have created a pre-populated system for an independent tutor. We've created custom guides for independent tutors. We have our WhatsApp channel inside the QT community, and we have these sessions on a regular basis to ensure that our members can come in to this call and ask any questions. So Claudine, welcome today, and Ben's going to take us through the social media element, and then we will have an opportunity to ask any questions. This is recorded and it will be put in the QT members area, so you'll be able to access these recordings for future.
Claudine, can I just ask before we go on? Hold on.
Yeah,
Can I just ask, Claudine, do you have a sense of what problems you're trying to solve to find out more about?
Not. I think it's more a case of I want to see what's going on, and then I can identify what problems I've got.
Do you use a system, Claudine?
Do I use
a system? Do you have a email system and a marketing system, website?
I have a website which is a little bit dormant at the moment.
Okay.
I have got a Tutor Cruncher account, but I don't really use it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay,
yeah.
That's really good. And that's something that Ben and I spoke about, that we have lots of members using lots of different systems, and this allows you to kind of bring it all into one. Good morning, Helen. Look at that sun shining on your face. What systems are you using currently?
I've got MailerLite, Tutorbird. MailerLite, Tutorbird, I think.
I think.
Oh,
it's
been a long day.
It's okay. Yeah. Do you use Tutorbird as a CRM, as a client relationship management tool?
Bits of it in there, bits of it in MailerLite. There's a group in MailerLite for current students.
Okay.
So depending on what I'm sending out.
Okay. Do you have a website?
Through Tutorbird.
You have a website through Tutorbird, and social media presence?
Or badly, but yeah.
Okay. And how do you manage your social media?
Badly.
Do you use a tool?
No, it's
no tool.
All just scheduling within the various systems themselves.
Okay, cool. All right. Ben, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Let me get my screen shared. I think I really like what Claudine mentioned as well, which is this idea of things laying dormant. Your tools you're paying for them, but they're collecting dust. And I know I've had that issue before. It was, I was juggling like 6 different software tools, and I had so many I would forget that I was paying for one, forget to use it, and you set it up and maybe you don't need it for a while, but you can't delete it, you can't cancel it because you took all that time setting it up and you might need it later. Yeah, it can really be a hassle. So let's see if I can get my screen shared here. Does everybody see this? Perfect.
Yep, we can see your screen.
So I wanted to start from the beginning. If you were to sign up with an account with Fullscope and you came over to the marketing section and the social planner, then this is what you would see at first. Basically a prompt telling you, hey, would you like to connect any of these lovely platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, etc. Pinterest is actually a brand new one that people were asking about that we just rolled out this month. And so these are the current options. And with basically all of these, you can schedule posts, post different types of posts. I know Instagram has like reel stories, etc. So we are doing our best to support as much as possible on each individual platform. And I think we're doing a great job. So this would be the kind of a landing page for your social planner. But now I want to actually go to an account that has a bunch of social media connected and has already been active quite a bit with it. So you can kind of see what it looks like in a real situation. So this is a project that sound designers organize, that it's like a community project, and they host it through our tools, and they're very kind and have given us permission to use the account to show off things, because this is just like an open source project, so there's no sensitive data in here or anything that we can't look at. So the first thing to notice is here on the top left, you can see which accounts they've connected with. So they're using Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. And there's also this Google My Business integration, which I think a lot of people, fun fact, they they kind of overlook the fact that posting actually to your Google My Business page, like updates and little posts every now and again, Google likes that. Surprise, surprise. They like people to be active on their Google business page, and that can potentially help you, get boosted up in the rankings if people are searching for tutoring services. So fun side note, something to consider every once in a while, maybe updating Google with some information about your business as well. And down below here, we can see all the posts that have gone out recently, can see who published them and what kind of posts they were, what the content was. So we can get a really great overview of all the different types of posts on all the different types of platforms. And let me move. I'm going to move you all's faces out of the way so I can click on things. So let's start with a new post. So just you can see what it looks like from scratch. So if I come over here, click on new post, I can create a new post. We have some templates as well that you can take a look at and potentially use to get some social media up and running more quickly. A couple of other options, but let's just go straight for a new post here. So if you're someone who has multiple social media pages, or you maybe only have one or two, but you don't like to be on them like daily or every other day, having to manually update them and post new stuff, this is really the tool for you, because there are two things that I think a social media management tool really helps. Number one, it helps you to post the same content across multiple platforms. So rather than having to, you make a beautiful post, you make a nice image or a video you want to share, but then you have to go to LinkedIn, you have to post it there. You have to go to Facebook, you have to post it there. You have to go to Instagram, you have to post it there. You have to go to whatever other platforms you're using. And so the really obvious win from using a social media management tool is just the amount of time saved. Instead of posting to multiple platforms individually, post to all of them all at one time. So if I wanted to do that here, I could come in and I just need to select which accounts I want to use. So again, this account has Instagram and X. So I'll just click on both of those. And now whatever I add here, it's going to go to Instagram and X at the same time.
Ben, can I just ask you a question, please?
Absolutely.
Are there any platforms that it doesn't include?
Well, what do you mean?
So with this example, you've got X, Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Has it got Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn?
Yeah. It has all the platforms that I mentioned earlier. It's just that this particular account I'm showing right now only has, they only use Instagram and X. But were they connected to Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., then all those options would be here as well, and I could do all of them.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So now, just like any normal social media platform, I can type in some content here. I can add images, I can add videos, I can add hashtags and tag locations. Got emojis, you can change the text. If you're posting to something like Instagram, then stories and reels will be relevant. And then if
there's a question in the chat regarding images.
Yes.
Does that work with different ratio on images for different social media platforms?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, you can select the images that you need on a per platform basis. So likely if that's something you're really paying attention to, a square picture for Instagram and maybe a more landscape style for Facebook, et cetera, then you can select those different images. And what you can do here, if they're going to be different for each platform, but for example, the content would be the same, then you can use this great little toggle that's customized for each channel. So now I can actually maybe type the same content, but then for X and for Instagram, in this example, I could upload slightly different images that are maybe more ideal for that particular platform.
Brilliant. Helen, does that answer your question?
Yes, apart from the fact I couldn't see the screen share to see how I did it.
Okay, it's being recorded, so you can catch it afterwards. It has customized for each channel in the corner, and you just
there's no screen share going on at the moment. It's just all of our faces.
Oh, okay.
at least as far as what I can see.
I can see it.
Okay,
I'm
it's
seeing
obviously
Ben's
just me
screen.
having a. I'll go out and in again. It's me having a moment. Probably it's whatever day of the week it is.
It's whatever the day of the week it is. I like that.
And Ben, in regards to tagging people, can you tag people?
You can tag people, although at the moment we don't have a direct integration where you can, like if you type the button where you can see them. So you would need to grab their actual tag from the platform and then just copy paste it in here. Because as you can imagine, if you're posting to multiple channels at once, and you can't tag the same person on multiple channels unless they had the exact same tag on each channel, which is fortunately rather rare.
But you can't customize that on the customize for each channel.
No, you could. So as soon as I click customize for each channel, I'm now dealing with totally different posts here. So if I add the tag for this, someone's Instagram channel here, and then I go over to X and I add their X tag here, then these are now totally, like content-wise, totally different posts.
But it won't pull up. I have to go and find it and copy and paste.
Yeah, you still have to go and find it.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah. So the customize for each channel can also be helpful if you recall that platforms like X have a severely limited character amount that you can add to the posts. So if you want to, for example, have a slightly longer text on Instagram and something, then you have to, of course, shorten it for X. Then customizing for each channel is also wise, because if you turn this off, the character limit defaults to the smallest character limit that one of the platforms offers. So if I want to post to Instagram and X at the same time without customizing them for each channel, then I would have to be limited by X's character limit. So just one little thing for now.
That's a great point. Thank you.
One other option I really like is you can add this follow-up comment. So particularly actually for a platform like X, if you can't fit all the text in the original post, you can add a follow-up comment and then maybe add something like, if you're interested in learning more, head to this link. Especially, I know some platforms, they prefer a little less that you're just blasting links all the time. But if you share the link in a comment down below the original post, they see that in a slightly nicer light. So it's often a good idea to type your actual content in the post, and then if you need to link out to your website or to a sign-up page or whatever, to add that in a comment under that post. And here now you can add the post and that comment at the same time, rather than having to go back to your post after you posted on the platform and comment on.
Does the comment post at exactly the same time as the main post?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so this
what's
would
in the
all go
advanced
together.
options, or are you coming to that bit? Am I asking too much?
Advanced, this would be if you really, for example, you can save hashtags, and you can also categorize some content. I would say this is if you're not a pretty advanced social media user, you don't have to worry about this type of stuff. This is really if you're juggling a lot of social media accounts, and maybe you have different, like you might even have multiple different types of accounts for one business. So think of someone who has maybe multiple Facebook groups and they're like all under the umbrella of their one business, but they might actually be different topics. Then you can kind of, separate them and organize them a bit better. But if you just have the one business and everything is a little easier, then you don't have to worry about digging too deep into the weeds here.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, so I'll just add some kind of, I'm sure there's some kind of image here in the account. And here we go. So let's just say I've got a little text, I've got an image, and now I want to share it. So first of all, if I am in the middle of posting this and I don't know, the doorbell rings, or I realize I've totally lost track of time and I need to run out the door to my next appointment and I'm not done, you can always save for later. So you can save a draft of a post, which is something that you can't do on most social media platforms. So this can be also really helpful for saving you time. And then if you're ready to post, you can of course post it straight away, but there are some more fun options. The first one would be the one that I think most people expect and know from social media management tools, is to schedule this post for later. This is a great way to deal with a lot of social media posts at one time, to kind of, bulk create a lot of posts at one time, but then you can schedule them out for the coming days or weeks. And then, voila, in one half day of work, you've maybe created a couple of weeks of social media content. And now, if you're someone like me, for example, who really does not enjoy getting on social media very often, then you can just lean back and enjoy a couple of days or weeks of free time of not really having to do anything except potentially, answer some and reply to some comments, hopefully, on those posts and any engagement. And but the actual posts themselves, you can then schedule out for later. The second really nice thing about this is maybe you're creating these social media posts during business hours, but are your customers really looking at social media at that time? Because if they're not, then it's best to post at a time where you expect them to actually be on these platforms. If I post, let's say if I'm posting about my tutoring services at I don't know, 5 in the morning, how many people are actually going to see that? How many people are going to be awake? And by the time they wake up at 8 a.m., and maybe the first thing they do is open their phone while they're still in bed and look at social media. But even then, 3 hours later, after I posted that, well, my post is gone. It's been lost in the ether and never to be seen again, most likely. So this is a great way to think to yourself, okay, if I'm posting on LinkedIn, and as my audience are parents, maybe what time would they be on LinkedIn? And some of these platforms give you this type of information. I know Instagram and Facebook, for example, are good about telling you when your followers are online, so you can then plan with that information. Then you can say, great, okay, I'm not only going to schedule these posts for later, so I don't have to deal with social media every day of the week or multiple times a week, but I can also schedule it for exactly that perfect time window where I know people are most likely to be online and actually see the posts. You're spending all this time creating these posts. Ideally, people would actually see them right when they go out there. So this is a great way to save yourself time, and then also hopefully reach more people by scheduling posts to actually go online on these platforms at a time where people will see them. So that would be the first one. It's very easy to use. You just give it a time and a date, and it will post that post at that time and date. The second option here is send posts for approval. This is a great option if you are in the happy situation where you can outsource social media to someone else and have them deal with it. Then you can invite them to your account. They can prep all the social media posts and they can send them to you for approval. So you just have a final look over them, double check for any grammar issues or typos, and make sure the content is correct. And then you can just check, say they're all good and let them go get posted. So if you happen to have someone who may be an assistant or someone on your team who's just a little more savvy with social media and is going to do it for you, then you can just use this to be kind of the final arbiter of whether the content is ready to go live or not. And then finally, my personal favorite, this is one that I think I'm surprised I don't see people using more often, is the schedule recurring posts. So this basically takes a post, and instead of just scheduling it to post once, it will post it over and over and over at an interval of your choosing. So if you have a really, if you have just a really pertinent post that you think people should see more than once, or if you think about social media and the algorithms and think about how the statistics show that even from the people who follow your accounts, usually like 10% or so actually see what you post on a regular basis. So if you're thinking about that, it really doesn't hurt to repeat yourself on the internet. Because at the very least, or let's say worst case scenario, someone looks and sees, oh, didn't I see that post before? But oh well, now they've seen it again. Now they're getting that message hammered into their brain, hopefully about how great you and your tutoring services are multiple times over, in over multiple weeks or multiple months. And best case scenario, someone never saw the first time you posted it, or maybe even the second or third time you posted it, but the fourth time you posted, they actually see it and are becoming more aware, therefore, of you and your business and your offerings. So I know, for example, this particular account, it's a community project, and they finance themselves with some partners, and they use recurring posts to just post the same information about how people can support their project by purchasing products through their partners. They just have it scheduled to go out every month over and over and over, and they don't have to reinvent the wheel for basically the same post over and over. So now they've pre-scheduled an entire year's worth of social media content in, I guess it took them maybe a day, probably less.
Ben, Helen's got a question. How does that work within the scheduling options for the different platforms?
I'm not sure I'm following the question. So
when trying to schedule ahead using the scheduling software within the platforms themselves, LinkedIn allows you to do about 3 months worth ahead. Facebook will only allow you to do 28 days, 30 days, something like that ahead.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Trying to recurring posts are great. You can get it to do it, but you can't do it too far out ahead. You kind of have to go back in the next month and sort it out. Is the recurring bit inside your software? It then pushes it out to the platforms, or does it sort of integrate with the software?
It's in our software first, and then it pushes it out when it's ready to go. So you don't have any of those problems with any limitations that the platforms have. So you can pre-schedule stuff for years in advance if you would like.
Not that organized.
Well,
it could be though.
I bet.
3 years.
Am I really going to be that organized?
Helen, this is really interesting, because this is one of the reasons why this system is so good for an independent tutor. If you're putting content out there and some of it will be repetitive, why not put it in here rather than spending time directly in those social media platforms? If it can be done from here, it will save you a huge amount of time. And the other thing, which we're probably not going to have time to do today, but it has MailerLite function. So MailerLite goes and you use this instead. So everything's all in one place.
Yeah. So this is the basic overview of how you get posts put together, how you then post them or schedule the posts for later, and the different options we've all seen now. And one more thing I'd like to show you is the planner tool. And this is basically the calendar view, which can be extremely helpful, especially if you're starting to, take advantage of the fact that you can schedule things ahead of time. Then you have a new problem where you think, well, did I already schedule something for that day? Let me take a look, because I've been able to schedule so many social media posts and save myself so much time. I'm actually suffering from my success, and I need to maybe go and check, did I already have something going for next Friday, or what's the deal? So as you can see, we can see all the posts that have gone out recently. So this month they've had, so nearly every day they have a post going out. And I know that this project, for example, is active at the beginning of the month, and then less active at the later half, and then it all starts over again the next month. And so here you can see, starting on the 1st of August, they have some of these recurring posts that are, again, just the same thing over and over, saving them tons and tons of time, because they've just done an entire year worth of content all at once. If I skip over to August, I can see, okay, here are all the upcoming posts. Great, great, great. If I need to edit them or change any of them, I still can. And if I have a post, for example, that I previously used, where I think, oh, I'd really like to do something quite similar to that again, I can also clone posts, and it'll create a new copy of it that I can then, potentially tweak or make a new image for, but mostly have the same content, so I don't have to do it all from scratch again. And then I can schedule it again.
This is a massive time saver.
Absolutely, yeah. That's
massive time saver.
No, at the very least, got to be saving an hour or two a week with a tool like this.
Can I just check in with Claudine and Helen? What are your questions or insights so far? Does it make you feel more confident or less what you're looking at? Go ahead, Claudine.
Yeah, okay. Probably more confident because I'm a social media phobic at the moment. So I think looking at it like this, I'd rather deal with it like this than directly, I think. So
Yeah, it's nice and visual, isn't it, this one?
yeah.
Helen, what are your thoughts?
That I'll need to get organized with my social media.
But so
And
I
not
want
just
to
post- and not just post
You
on
know
the
what?
fly.
Well, so that's right, but Ben and Odette, I would love to hear your thoughts on this because Helen and I write the posts that occur to us in the moment, and sometimes they're awesome, and sometimes there's nothing for a while. But at least we know that what we said we're actually thinking about. Do you know what I mean?
But
It's
they
quite
would be
fun.
your they would be your personal posts, but you would
Go on.
still, there's two things with this tool. You would post from your page, and so for you, Julia, from the qualified tutor page and your personal page, and for you, Helen, you would do personal and from
Osmond.
from Osman, and then you would also do additional ones. But what you don't want to do is go and do something that's in your head and it's going to clash with something that you've planned to go out. This also creates consistency. If your audience know that every Monday you put out, Julia, you do thought leadership. That thought leadership piece goes out every single Monday. At the moment, we have our newsletter that goes out every single Friday, and it goes out every single Friday on social media as well. So people know that they're looking for it. We get messages, I haven't received my newsletter. Where's the
Yeah, and it's so funny, isn't it? Because you think nobody, we hear this on social media all the time. Yeah, Helen got both of them. You see this on social media all the time that you think people aren't watching, and they are. It occurs to me that what we're looking at here is the bread and butter, and that those spontaneous posts are the jam.
Yeah, and you wouldn't stop those spontaneous posts, but you need to create consistency inside your business. And the challenge as an independent tutor is that, oh my gosh, I've got all these things to do. I'm going to do all of it all in one hit, or I'm not doing any of it at all because it's overwhelming. This allows you to really think about it and actually plan it into your strategy. So for example, Helen, I'm going to use you as an example because you're maths. What you would do is you would look at everything that syncs in with maths. I see you post things about, today is National whatever day. You can plan that all in probably a couple of hours in a tool like this, and then not think about it for a year.
It's actually really good timing for the summer, this kind of thing, because if you spent a whole day mapping out awareness days for the whole year, they would just roll, wouldn't they? Ben, how far in advance can you plan? I'm warming up to this now, can you tell? Ben, how far in advance?
I don't know if there's a practical limit, to be honest.
Okay, so if Helen wanted to do awareness days for the whole year, she could.
Yeah, but
for example, today I posted about Emoji Day because it's National World Emoji Day today, and I think I did a post on share an emoji of how it makes you feel about maths. There's some cracking ones coming in.
Are there? What a fantastic idea. I'm going to go and find a photo. We got emoji balloons once for a birthday party.
Go and stick it on my post. Anyway, but that's going to be the same every year.
Still going. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy. Don't post for September 29.
I will be old.
We're all going to be on a beach by then.
Okay.
Yeah,
so can you fix it on the day rather than the day of the week? So for example, Emoji Day is the 17th of July. So every 17th of July that post goes out.
Yep.
Rather than the Monday. Monday is always my freebie day or whatever it is.
Yes, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Brilliant. I have a question for you, Ben. So it's very nice. The system is awesome. Sending out and scheduling these posts. What happens when somebody replies to those posts? Do I need to be inside X or LinkedIn or Instagram to be able to respond to them?
To the posts, yes. So there's one other way that you benefit from connecting these social media platforms. That if people post, you'll still need to actually, if people reply to your posts or like it or share it, whatever, that's something you would still deal with on a platform basis. But there is one other bonus that we didn't talk about yet, which is if you are connected to like Facebook, Instagram, and others, and someone sends you a message via these platforms, you would actually see all of those messages at one time here in our conversations tab. So rather than having to, bounce around, if someone writes you via Instagram and another person writes you via LinkedIn, instead of having to bounce around, and I know I sometimes I forget, I see, oh, someone wrote me on LinkedIn, I'll deal with that later, and then I wipe it away on the phone and forget about it completely for weeks and feel really bad about it. So all of those platforms you've connected with, all of the messaging, person-to-person messaging that you do there will show up in your conversations tab. And so you can get an overview of that all here all at one time.
And I can respond inside conversations, and it goes back into the DM of
exactly
platform.
So you can message people over these platforms without opening them up.
You can also make templates, can't you? So the responses can then be quite easy to do.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you automate those responses? So if somebody emails, messages, DMs, whatever, I'm not in the office right now, I'll get back to you within whatever time. Here's a copy.
Yes. So
can you have the automatic response, and then you can get back to it when you're actually sat at?
Yeah, you can do that with Facebook and Instagram at the moment, and we have an option for that in our automations. And I think those are the only two platforms we support at the moment with automated responses. But you can do that.
Is there a trigger for conversations inside FullScope? Because I'm familiar with the system. We've done a lot of work together, Ben. With the automation, is there a trigger to say, I receive a message in conversations from Instagram, respond with this?
Oh, that's so for Instagram, yes, Instagram and Facebook. And you've probably seen this as well if you're a user on these platforms where people are like, comment yes, and I'll send you my freebie thingy right now. So this is a system you can also take advantage of inside of our platform. So whether you're using it to send out a freebie or some kind of lead magnet, or whether you actually, I never thought about doing it for like an out of office message, but you could totally do it for that as well. You could set that up in the automations and have those automatic replies going out while you sleep.
Helen, it's not laziness at all. It's the way you can totally run your business. Now, we have the beauty of automations and AI and all of those things to make life easy. As a one-man band, as an independent tutor that may or may not be using a VA, I know many of our independent tutors have started to use VAs, and that's fine. And you would give them access to this system to do some of these tasks. But actually, if you look at some of these tasks, like the social media, if you dedicate a day every half term, every term, suddenly you've got content going out. So if you haven't got time to do, a personal post, that's fine. You're still sending out. And also when you think about if you're putting your rates up, or if you're doing a special offer for summer, or any of those things, you're going to do a Christmas deal, you can prepare all of that now. And it makes you think. Using a system like this makes you think strategically.
It's also about sustainability, isn't it? Because when you're a one-man band, if you get a stinking cold like I have this week, nobody hears from you and nothing gets done.
That's it. Claudine, do you have any questions at the moment?
No, I don't think so. I think I have a lot of thinking to do.
Okay, brilliant. Helen?
How many rabbit holes can I send us down? Because you mentioned that it
I'm
would.
not sure. This is the time. You've got 20 minutes. Go for it.
So you mentioned that there was the option to replace something like MailerLite, because obviously this has all been the social media, and it looks very, very clever and all that sort of stuff. And I'm now panicking about actually getting my head around social media rather than posting on the fly. But that's a me thing later over the summer. You said about it could replace MailerLite for email marketing. Can you show us a little bit of that? And then I think the other thing was instead of using something like Tutorbird for CRM and payments and stuff like that. So those are the other two things big things I would be looking to use to combine under one system potentially.
Sure. Yeah.
Sorry,
Happy
that was a
to-
lot all in one.
Ben, it might be worth, I don't know, Ben's not prepared for that question,
Sorry.
but
I'm always
Ben,
prepared.
it might be worth using our pre-populated QT system. So
Yeah.
Helen, when you buy the Full Scope freelancer subscription through us, you get a pre-populated system where Ben and I have already created things that we know tutors are going to need. Okay. And then what you also get is these calls, and we've got 6 planned in at the moment. We've got the next 6 months planned in. But as a member, you get access to ask Ben all these questions, and you also get custom guides. So Ben has the most amazing support for anyone that uses the system, but we've also created custom guides for qualified tutor members as a tutor to ask you questions. And you would have seen in our gorgeous WhatsApp community, we now have a channel that's dedicated to Full Scope Freelancer for anyone that's using or thinking of using to ask their support questions. And Ben has totally come in with us to really support the independent tutor, because as we met and we started to explore this, we realized what a no-brainer it was. And when Ben and I worked out if I am paying for MailerLite, and if I am paying for this, and if I am paying for that, suddenly if I put it all into one system and it's $35 a month, then and hello QT members, you get 3 months free at the start. Anyone else taking a Full Scope Freelancer from Ben, they get 1 month. We get 3 months free at the start, and you get all this support as well and get you up and running.
How much time would it take to get up and running?
Oh, well, that depends on how much of the platform you really need for your business, like right from the get-go. So if you really only need to set up a website and maybe social media, half a week. But if you're looking to use every single tool,
a tutor
then it might
would want
take you a
to
little
use
longer.
a tutor would definitely want to use the booking element also. And what else would you use for MailerLite? Would be campaigns, wouldn't it? So that would be your newsletter or
Exactly.
checking students. Is that right, Helen?
Yeah, and I kind of sort of use it as a CRM because I don't.
Yeah, I think
CRM, but the booking thing would be the big thing.
And I tell you what else you've got because of your Maths Hub, lead magnets. So there's a way to Odette, do you want to explain? Not feeling great.
Yeah. So apologies, it's 14 days free. I'm really, you get 30 days free, not 3 months free. I'm really, really sorry. It's 14 days.
Well, she said it now, Ben.
That's my mistake. No, it's totally my mistake.
Odette's going to personally cover the costs for everybody. Thank you, Odette.
I'm going to mute Ben right now. The way the system works is you can build your lead magnets in here. So Helen, if you wanted to write a guide for something, you can create the guide inside here, link it, and then you can have a whole email campaign and automation that if somebody clicks it, so you can click. So for example, like with forms, some people use Google Forms, some people use Jot Forms, there has forms in here, and you can create a trigger that when someone completes the form, it then sets a whole reel of automations that they get from you, including booking forms, including more information. You can put wait times in. So I would suggest, you've got lead magnets through MailerLite at the moment. Yeah, you can easily move that. That's not a problem. You can attach documents if it's easier. But I would say if you dedicated a week on setting it up and moving things over,
Well, Helen, that's your summer planned.
Like I haven't got anything else to do.
You will create your system, and what will happen is you'll tweak it. We have, and Ben will show you, we've got things already set up, but the idea of a lead magnet is it's a sales funnel, isn't it? So the lead magnet might hit 20 people, and then gradually they get another email from you, and it's probably not until the 4th or 5th time you've contacted them that they actually interact with you or maybe take it from you. So that's the idea of having repeat social media, repeat email. And the other thing that you have in here is that you can set it up. Ben, this is set up they can integrate with WhatsApp. I know there's an extra cost of SMS and WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But you can interact with it that way as well. And what the evidence is showing at the moment is that people are not opening emails, but they are responding to text messages and to WhatsApp, and especially with a parent. I know for myself, I opened my personal emails this morning, and I missed emails from the school last week, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Too much.
They had a detention done.
I tell you what, there was a lot of conversation during the National Tutoring Programme about attendance, about student attendance. And I find it amazing that nobody was sending text messages to the students 15 minutes before the session. And in some cases, the parents as well. Why would you worry about telling them off afterwards when it can be this easy to just send them a text in advance? And I could tell you, and Helen knows this from personal experience, sometimes my kids don't show up for tutoring sessions that I've prepaid, and it's really, really, really galling. So if you could set up a text message to remind my son, that would be awesome, Ben.
So Ben, you can clarify this, but if you use the booking system in here, you can set it up that it will trigger a text message to go out the day before, 15 minutes before, whatever, 5 minutes before, however you want to trigger it. That can all be set up. And I think we did do some of that.
We already have that set up.
Yeah, we did this in the pre-population.
It's just so supportive for the whole family, because otherwise you create tension between the parent and the child. And anything that you can do to lighten the text, like we've spoken about with billing before, upfront in advance billing that takes the pressure off every week is so healthy for the whole process.
So if you take a look at the screen, Ben's pulled this up. We've already created this for you as a trigger. That any appointment that is sent, the email goes out. But what you can do, if you press the plus, you can then add reminders for text as well.
Yeah, so text messaging you have to set up separately, and there's a guide for that. Just there are a lot more rules about texts and phone related privacy stuff that you have to deal with. So the appointment reminders, this little automation here that automatically, like Odette said, anytime someone creates an appointment with you, and you can specify this to be appointments from specific calendars for specific services and so on, but this is just a catch-all right now, then it'll just say, okay, I'm going to wait until 24 hours before the appointment, and then I'm going to send them a reminder email. Hey, in 24 hours, you have this appointment. Please don't forget. Here's the location, here's the information, and then you can wait again an hour before the appointment and send it, or it could be 5 minutes before the appointment. So this is completely customizable. This is just a good starting point. And email works automatically in the system without any special setup. Text messaging is just again, it's not our fault. It's the government and the phone providers make you go through a couple extra hoops to get that all set up. But once you do, you can set up these reminders just as easily with text messages as you could with the emails.
Helen, where are you doing your text messaging from at the moment?
Tutorbird.
You're doing it in Tutorbird. Great.
So
and
it triggers 48 hours before an email for parent and student, if I've got it set up for both, and an hour before for student.
Can you customize it? in Tutorbird?
Yes, I believe so. But within how far you can go either side, I think I can only go 48 hours for a reminder beforehand.
Okay. Okay. With this, you can do whatever you want. And it might be, for example, with Tutorbird, that you continue to use Tutorbird for that, but you use this for social media, email marketing, client relationship management, etc. Lead magnets as a separate piece, or you move it all into one.
Yeah, that's so luckily we already have a lot of tutors on the platform, so I know that some of them do like a mix, and I can understand why. If you're already set up with one system and it's not broken and it's not, you know, ruining you financially, then you don't have to change it necessarily. A lot of people also, if they already have a website, you know, we have a website builder, but there's no rush to cancel your other one, because of course building a website takes a little time. Maybe you need to plan it out for a couple of months from now, and then once you do actually do it on our platform, you can cancel your other website and save even more money. But there's, you know, there's no one forcing you to go like all in every tool on this platform only and nothing else anywhere else. So it's all about making your life easy and your business hopefully more successful.
Can I ask a couple more questions then, sort of within that? Just you might have said it earlier, payment options with it. Which platforms does that integrate with in terms of payment processing?
So we have the gold standards, Stripe and PayPal.
That's fine. That's got the one I use, so that's
Yeah. And then we're also rolling out more. So we have this Visa solution as well as NMI, and then hopefully even more later on.
Are there other integrations as in that if you in the future, not that I can think of any that I would use right now, things obviously at the moment you might use Zapier 4 to zap things across.
Yeah, so luckily so one of the really nice things about this is that since all of these tools are in one place and we have our own automation tools, you can really a lot of people get rid of Zapier completely because all the processes are in here and you're automating them for free with our tools. But nonetheless, we still have the option to send information out and receive information back in if you still need to connect and cooperate with other tools.
Isn't there an integration with Canva?
No, not unless
that would be a very, very dangerous integration to have, because
well, let's have a look, because when I was playing around, there was a Canva integration.
Unless they
You're
rolled out
such a
something
nerd,
that...
Odette.
I know, I'm such a nerd.
Don't send me down the rabbit hole. Don't send me down the rabbit hole.
Sorry, hold on. Whilst you're just checking this out, I do think that it's useful to look at what you call on the system products, Ben. Since we've got 7 minutes, would you mind just showing us what that does, please? Because we were talking yesterday in our Independent Tutors Club about making content available either for students or for parents, or could even be for other tutors. And you've got a setup that sort of allows you to create courses in here as well and mark them and track them.
Yes, that's true.
That's membership, yeah.
Yeah.
Membership, yeah.
So yes, you can create a course that you can either sell or give out for free, and you can invite your students to basically to this membership area that they can log into. They can see all the course content. And then, yes, you can also see individually how much of the course that they've gotten through. You can even create nice little certificates for them once they create a course that they would get then automatically, that they can show their mom and dad, hey, I finished my math tutoring course today, something like this. And you can also set up a community, which is like a little private Slack group, or
Which
similar
answers
to
your question, Helen, about multiple tutors.
Not that I'm there yet, but it's one of the options, obviously, as you grow, is to be able to handle multiple tutors.
You'd add them in as a user in the system, yeah.
Yep, you can do that as well. Yeah, so these courses are, I think, no one's going to be like totally confused. It's just like every course creator, I would imagine. So
it's very similar to Kajabi.
Yeah, It's very similar to Kajabi, and actually, if you use Kajabi, you can import courses directly from Kajabi with a function that we've created, which can be very useful.
Claudine, do you have any plans about creating static courses for your students?
I do. I've had the plans for 3 or 4 years.
Oh, sorry, that was a loaded question.
Well, this is a great.
Where on your list is that plan? Should have been the question. Well done.
Yeah.
It's pretty near the top. I think what I tend to find is I plan to do things over the summer and think I'm not going to take any summer schools or anything on over the summer, and then something comes along and suddenly I find my summer's all booked up.
What a lovely problem. We were
Yeah.
speaking last week with a member of ours who made a wonderful platform, a wonderful course, and she was paying a platform a ridiculous amount of money to house it and promote it for her. And there was an upfront cost, and there was a cost per sale, and it was just galling because I knew that this system is so affordable and easy to use. So it's just, it's that barrier to getting the hang of something new. But it's all here.
Yeah, this is one where I think a lot of people easily can recognize when they look at the cost of other platforms that are used to create courses, Kajabi or ClickFunnels or Teachable and others. They're just like 2, 3, 4, 5 times more expensive than what we're offering here. And I think one of the I think I even mentioned this on World Tutors Day when we talked shortly. I did. One of my favorite things about this platform is the flexibility you have. You have all of this. It doesn't mean you need to use it.
Yeah.
But if one day you
tutors have this bad habit of like wanting to press every button.
Well, now they can without also having to pull out their credit cards at the same time. And that's the thing I really like here is, a lot of people I know, maybe like yourself, Claudine, they have this plans, but then they look at how much it costs to put a course online and think, okay, maybe not. I don't even know if it'll sell. Or I don't know if, will it even work out? And I'm going to pay $100 or more a month just to even test the waters in this area that I'm not even certain about. So I totally get that. I used to have a couple courses online as well, and I was also kind of appalled at how pricey it was. So just having that as part of the package here.
Yeah, because for many tutors, they use it either as a lead magnet or in addition to the tutoring input as an evergreen support system. So it's not that it needs to sit on a separate platform. It needs to be something that the tutor's in control of and can update or, mark easily. Those things. It's the control that makes a difference.
That's it.
Yep.
On that note, we are coming up to the hour. Ben, thank you. Claudine, Helen, Julia, thank you for your participation and your questions. The next session, sorry?
I said I'm going to go and find myself a cup of tea and another box.
Go and make yourself a cup. I am not coming to make you tea. I do not want your lurgy. There is another session booked in for August. There is not one booked in for September because Ben's wife is due to have a baby, and then we'll be back in October. There are 6 sessions booked in. Make sure you've downloaded the QT members calendar so it's in your diary so you don't miss. Anyone else, follow us on Eventbrite, and you can join for free. You can watch the session live on YouTube or LinkedIn. This recording will be available to our members. And yes, Ben, get all your sleep now. And if you have any questions before that, please drop it into the WhatsApp channel in the community. Ben and I are both in there. Ben and I are working really, really closely together to make sure that we give you a solution that is easy to set up, to get you moving nice and quickly, and to help you streamline your business processes to give you some of your time back.
Right. And one other thing I'd love to mention, if you're like, oh, this all sounds interesting, I don't want to wait for the next sessions to like maybe talk more about this and ask more questions, you can also book a call through our website, fullscopefreelancer.com at any time, and we can talk with you directly about exactly what you need and show you more of the platform at a time that's convenient for you. So you don't have to wait.
Could you pin that link on the WhatsApp channel, please?
Oh, yes, good
The
idea.
members can book there. We've already got quite a few people in that channel that have come and joined to find out more. We'll post this recording in there so you've got access to it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop it into the WhatsApp, and Ben will book a call. You can book a call with Ben to get more information as well. Wishing you a wonderful, what day is it today?
Wednesday.
Wishing you all a wonderful Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.